It's the Cool Kids Club. You've been invited to the Cool Kids Club. It's so exciting, yeah. Justin likes monsters, yeah. And Amy likes words in the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club.
Scary.
I'm scared. Did we just start the show?
We're bringing back April singing.
Yep. Did we accidentally just start the show? Is this the show now?
It can be.
It can be.
Anything can happen.
Anything can be the show, whatever we say.
That's right.
And I say, this is the show. Welcome to Cool Kids Club.
Heyo.
Heyo.
My name is Amy.
Yep. Hey, Amy.
You don't want to introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Justin.
And we're the Cool Kids. We're the hosts of this podcast.
It's what I hear.
That's what I hear. It's what I've picked up on the streets. We do have, you may have heard somebody else here in the mix today because we have a very special guest.
Because we are the Cool Kids, but we're not the only Cool Kids.
No, we're the original.
In the house.
Not the only. Yeah.
Right. We are. No one was cool before us.
No. Even though April was born before me. No offense.
As was I.
But we have April in the house.
April.
Hello.
That's
am okay.
So excited about today's episode, about the topic, and the fact that you're here with us, April.
Yeah.
Yay.
We have, obviously the topic's Unsolved Mysteries, and April and I have been binge watching Unsolved Mysteries most of this year.
You really have.
This is this has been a big part of my spare time this year, so I got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
I love some Unsolved Mysteries.
I have not been binge watching Unsolved Mysteries. I mean, there have been times in my adult life that I have gotten on kicks with it, but not this year. So, but I did. I know the viewers can't see this, but maybe we can take a photo. I am wearing my Unsolved Mysteries King of the Hill shirt that I just got. So I'm showing this to you guys as if I didn't already show it to you. But maybe we can take a picture of that and put it on the social medias. I am ready for the occasion. I'm wearing my Unsolved Mysteries shirt.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the dedication.
I like to be on brand.
So, April, why are you here for Unsolved Mysteries? Why is this an April topic?
Hey, girl, why you here?
Hey, girl, what you doing here?
What's you doing? Where you at?
Y'all are about to make me have like an existential crisis or something.
No. Oh, it's not that serious.
That was not my intention.
Here?
I'm sorry.
What is...
Why am I?
Why am I? Who am I? No, I'm here. I really like true crime. Like, I'm a big old true crime nerd.
Oh, yeah.
And I like old stuff like you guys like. And I like
Robert Stack.
Like Robert Stack.
In this house, we call him Bobby Stacks.
Is that Stax?
Yes.
Bobby Stacks.
Bobby Stacks.
Bobby. Close personal friend Bobby
Close
Stacks.
personal friend Bobby Stacks.
I bet he went by Bob.
Yeah.
I bet he's Bob to his friends.
Anyway,
so yeah, I'm a big fan of all that. So I decided.
You also love like cryptids, right? You're a big fan of like Bigfoot, Mothman,
cryptids, spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Mysterious disappearances.
Kidnappings.
Anything, yeah, kind of morbid or.
But it has to be real.
It has to be real. I want to know, like,
yeah,
like the chupacabra.
I'll fight you on that. Yeah,
she will fight you on Bigfoot. Yeah,
I have not seen enough evidence to say he's not real.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna go with could be.
Yeah,
I'm open. I'm open to it.
You're open.
Wide open.
But yeah, no, I really like Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries, I feel like, is kind of just one of those. Now that we have been watching it together, like I didn't really think about it before, but like, oh, that's such an April thing because of the reasons you're talking about. Like, it's true crime, it's the spooky stuff, and it's the stuff I like too. It's the kind of the stuff we share, and I'm like, oh, that's so many of your interests because I think I've said on the show before, the podcast that you listen to, I watch a lot of horror movies. I'm the horror movie guy.
Sure.
And sometimes I'll get crap for that, or people will wonder why I do. The podcasts April listens to are far more horrific than anything I've watched in any of those movies, and they're all real pretty much.
I've gotten in April's car many times and one of those podcasts is going. And she's like, oh, let me turn this off real quick, because it's like, it's like the meme with her eyes were cut out, her tongue was cut, and April's just driving.
It's like the old Patton Oswalt bit of like him walking into the room and hearing like the necklace was made of vaginas.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Like, oh my God, what are you listening to? That is what it's like getting in April's car.
I was actually just cleaning the house.
His wife caught a serial killer, so
she did. Yeah, exactly. Maybe one day. But
a serial killer.
I definitely was cleaning the house the other day, like listening to a podcast about Albert Fish. And
as one does.
It was a two-parter.
Well, sure.
You can't have in just one.
You can't fit all the fish in just one episode.
He's probably the craziest, murder, crime.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He is crazy. He am crazy.
Yeah. Well, I was just
dead,
listening to a 6-part series on the JFK assassination because I just went to Dallas.
Yeah.
So I was listening to that, and I got through like 4 of those.
Just my heart is just warmed by Amy voluntarily listening to history. Like, I love that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because I'm such a dad history guy too. Like, outside of just the nostalgia parts,
Yeah. It has to be something I'm interested in, which I guess is there's not a single person who's like, I love history, who's not like, but I really love, like, history of a certain time period or era. Like,
well, history is a pretty big topic.
Yeah. It's, you know what? When we started this podcast 7 minutes ago, that's history now.
Yep. It's everything there was.
It's everything. Me saying that sentence, that's history.
Yeah.
So it's just got to be something I'm really interested in.
Oh no, existential rabbit hole.
That does tend to be murder. I mean, obviously, true crime is enormous. It's an enormous culture. I don't know. That's like the interest in true crime media is such a huge thing. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Unsolved Mysteries was like kind of the OG or very early.
It's wild because even now, so the way we've been watching it is Pluto TV,
sure,
or Tubi. There are a bunch of streaming services that have like just 24/7 Unsolved Mysteries
both
channels.
Of those, by the way, I fucking love Pluto and Tubi.
Yes, I know. Also, like Sling TV has one, Roku TV has one. Mm-hmm. So these are not hard to find, and man, it's just like a warm blanket putting them on because it's that music. Oh my god!
So here's what we do. Like, if we're watching Pluto, and like we have seen the episode that's playing before, or maybe we're not particularly interested in it. Then we just switch on over to Tubi and see what episode of Unsolved Mysteries is playing on Tubi, and
vice versa.
You're not like, I guess I'll watch something else. You're like, let's see what other Unsolved Mystery options I have.
We have other options. We have let's, and every once in a while it'll both will be doing an episode we've already seen or something and be like, well, that's kind of a bummer. But most of the time, one of them is, there's so many episodes of this show.
How many episodes are there?
Oh, hold on. Let me tell you real quick. That is currently 607 episodes.
Holy shit. That's including the new stuff?
That's everything. So we should say that there are eras of Unsolved Mysteries.
Like Taylor Swift tour.
Now, we're pretty much just going to be talking about the Bobby Stax era, the OG era, the best, the golden era. But there are lots of others. So the Bobby Stax era, that's of course the original. That's what everyone remembers.
Yeah.
But that was on... The Bobby Stax era was 3 different networks, because for the first, however many, it's 7 years, maybe, 9 or 10 years, it was on NBC.
10 years?
10 years.
NBC, really? Okay.
NBC, and then CBS for a couple years, and then it got canceled, and then Lifetime picked it up, and the last couple Bobby Stax, new original Bobby Stax seasons were on Lifetime, which
That's
I
interesting.
did not know.
Is that when they
Lifetime?
added Virginia Madsen?
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Something for the ladies, because it's Lifetime.
Well,
like-
something for the fellas, too, because it is Virginia Madsen.
She's very pretty.
She is a very pretty lady.
They're like, do y'all remember Candyman? Here's Unsolved Mysteries.
You know what else is kind of an unsolved mystery? The Candyman.
Candyman.
Look, he was
That's-
real, wasn't he? He was a real guy.
Candyman?
That was
No.
true crime.
No. I think he was. He was a serial killer, and they called him Candyman because he owned a candy store.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the...
Not the titular Candyman who's full of bees. He's not.
Not the bee ghost man.
A
with
man
the
full
pen.
of bees. He was not real.
I mean, he was full of candy, so why wouldn't bees be there?
Bees like candy.
Bees like
he just
candy.
cut himself open with his own nails and was just full of bees. Was there really a man full of candy like that?
No.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna believe you. I'm gonna choose to believe you. I believe women, and I'm gonna choose to believe them. Yeah. Like, I thought you believed women, Amy. You don't believe April?
You don't.
You don't believe that the Candyman's real because April said so?
A woman said so.
Yep.
Anyways, Ginny Madsen, she was on for a little while.
Yeah,
with-
right.
with
That was
Bobby
the
Sacks.
Lifetime. That was the Lifetime. Or maybe that was no, that was the Lifetime years.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
seems about right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I had no idea because I guess I was always watching it in syndication.
Oh, it was like constantly on. Mm-hmm. You know, because it ran from like 87. The Bobby Stacks era is all the good years. 87 through 2001. It ended July 2001.
Oh my God.
Amy. And what happened not long after that?
What happened in September 2001?
The end of all things good.
Quite literally.
During this time, the show ended because Bobby Stacks was having health issues that he eventually passed away from the next year. So, R.I.P. Bobby Stacks.
Pour one out.
But yeah, 9/11 again.
Ruined. 9/11 killed Unsolved Mysteries.
It killed Bobby Stacks.
It killed Bobby Stacks.
I'm sure it didn't help.
Gee, so I feel like between these two shows, Unsolved Mysteries, America's Most Wanted, no wonder we're all anxious.
I'm gonna go ahead.
No wonder this is a whole generation of anxious people who grew up watching fucking Unsolved Mysteries and America's Most Wanted. I thought there were kidnappers on every corner. I thought I was...
I'll go ahead and throw in there. I'll agree. I do agree.
Rescue
I'm going to go ahead and
911?
add Rescue 911 and sightings for the paranormal aspect.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's
That-
no wonder we're all anxious and don't know what to do about it.
We're all just a bunch of anxious millennials.
Plus, 9/11.
Plus,
you know,
that 9/11 happened.
that 9/11 happened.
And that didn't help nothing.
That did not help anything for anyone. No, I mean, I remember we watched so much Unsolved Mysteries and America's Most Wanted. I mean, that was something we watched with our parents.
This podcast has made me kind of realize how raised by TV I was, because we do talk about TV a lot, and I'm like, wow, I did watch a lot of Unsolved Mysteries. And I'm thinking back on all the episodes we've done, like, I did watch a lot of Nickelodeon. I did watch a lot of
I feel
Batman.
like- I mean,
I watched a lot of Turtles.
Yeah, but it wasn't ever. I don't really feel like mom was. You know, our parents didn't like use the TV as a babysitter like some parents do. But I feel it was just like that. We'd get home from school and we'd pop the TV on and like.
And chances are Bobby Stacks is telling you about something
Chances on
spooky.
Bobby Sacks is on, yeah. And then it's like mom's making dinner. I mean, I just feel like the TV was kind of always on in the background. It was just sort of always on if we were home. Mm-hmm. You know? So I feel like we did absorb a lot of television.
Yeah.
And
There is there anything scarier, guys, than the Unsolved Mysteries theme?
No. I'm so glad you guys agree, because I thought you were going
No.
to give me shit.
Oh, for being afraid of the Unsolved Mysteries thing?
Well, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of everything. Especially as a kid, and I was like, I bet this doesn't creep other people out. But that's good to know.
It absolutely did. I just saw where somebody commented on your Instagram where they drew, they had an assignment in school to draw something that they were afraid of or something that was scary, and they drew a picture of themselves watching Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes.
And I was like,
I'll have to go on
hilarious.
Instagram and see that.
God
so
damn
I
it,
can
that's
give
so
them credit.
funny.
I don't know who it was, but that made me laugh.
Oh my god. I drew a photo of myself watching Unsolved Mysteries.
So shout out to whoever that was.
That's
It's Mark Baker. Mark Baker.
Mark Baker.
Dox him.
Oh,
That's his screen name.
Oh, okay. Then is that someone you know in real life, IRL, or is that a
But
Internet.
he has one of the most wonderful nostalgia toy collections I've ever seen.
Ooh, okay. Well, that is hysterical, Mark Baker. And we were right there with you.
Yeah. Oh gosh, and an underrated one. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the ending theme, which is
Yeah.
kind of like a slowed
It's
down
scarier.
remix.
It's
but it's
scary.
scary. It's scary too.
It is scary.
do you know what I call that?
What?
I named that the theme, the outro theme, a funky underbelly, because it sounds like, like the music that they would play, like whenever you're like watching something about like the underbelly of society or something
yeah.
like that, or like really grimy, the underbelly,
Real
real gritty, yeah. But it's also a little funky.
It's real funky.
So I call it funky underbelly, which is also what you can, call your fupa, maybe.
When it gets a little funky and you take a shower.
If you get like sweaty.
If you get a little funky, you get a bit of a funky underbelly.
You get a little
I
funky
gotta
underbelly.
take a shower. I got a bit of a funky underbelly.
Justin was not amused by that.
No.
Oh, I'm with you.
That bummed me out.
Bummed me out.
Funky underbelly. Aw, it's okay.
Now, are there some episodes like when you guys were rewatching all of these?
Oh, we've not rewatched all of them.
Well, I know, but I just meant
Most
like
of them.
a good deal of them. Are there some that you really remembered? Like specific ones where you're like, oh shit, I remember this one.
I may or may not have some pulled up on my phone that I want to talk
hell
about.
yeah. She came prepared.
Yeah.
I am not drunk.
Okay.
Which is maybe a Cool Kids Club first.
I made notes for this episode.
Oh.
And I said I wasn't going to sing, but I already, yeah.
Oh, well.
Already.
Yeah, that was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you sing? Oh yeah, you did at the beginning.
She sang us in.
She sang
I
us
hummed
in.
us a
That's right.
tune.
Hummed us a tune. Okay, so what's the first episode you want to talk about?
You want me to talk about... Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys about the West End Baptist Church.
Ooh.
And this was an unexplained phenomena.
Ooh.
I love
phenomenon.
Phenomenon like the John Travolta movie?
Phenomenon like the John Travolta movie.
There was an angel with long hair.
Yes, and not to be confused with the Westboro Baptist Church, because that's a bummer. But
Well,
this is,
I originally thought that's what we were talking about, and I was
No.
like, there's an unsolved mystery about them?
no.
I could solve that real quick. They're assholes.
This is the West End Baptist Church, and it was in Beatrice, Nebraska, and this happened on March 1st, 1950. But basically, it was about a choir group, and the choir director, her name was Martha Paul, and they said that she really ruled the roost. And she was really strict about like punctuality, and she would like really get on to people, like even if they were just a little bit late. So
She sounds delightful.
yeah, and so she was
Stuffy old church lady choir director.
like one of those people that says to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to
Oh, if you're on time, you're late.
be, which
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the
My
opposite.
band director used to say that.
Well, she was a choir director, so maybe that's a music thing. I don't
Maybe.
know. But anyway, so she wanted everybody to show up for practice no later than 7:25 p.m. I don't know why that wasn't 7:30, but whatevs. So most of the time people got there at 7:15 p.m. But basically, so everybody was like really good about being on time because they didn't want to hear it from Martha, right? And so on March 1st, it was still really, really cold outside, and the preacher had stopped by earlier, and he turned on the furnace so that way the church would be warm for them to like come in and do their choir practice, right? Well, like all kinds of things were going on. Like one of the choir members, they had their clock set wrong, so it was like 5 minutes slow or whatever, and they ended up being late. The other lady, she said she just was feeling kind of lazy and just couldn't like talk herself into getting up and going. One of the other ladies said that she was listening to a program on the radio and she just didn't want to like get up and go. Well, every single choir member that day was late for some reason, which is a good thing because at like 7:27 at night, the church exploded. And it would have killed every single one of the choir members. And so, they would typically arrive around 7:10, and it was 7:15, and they were running late. So yeah, but anyway, yeah. So around about that time, the church exploded, and so
did the choir director die?
No, she wasn't there either. Like every single one of them
was late.
Everybody was late for some reason. So, and what's really fun,
phenomenon, you might say.
It was a phenomenon.
Do.
Phenomenon.
But
anyway, so a really funny story about this particular episode. If you watch the Unsolved Mysteries documentary Behind the Legacy,
which exists, is awesome.
It's great. Yeah, it was a documentary in 2023 that they made. It's only like an hour long, so definitely give it a watch.
Oh, I definitely will.
But anyway, they talk about that particular episode. And so they found this church somewhere close by to this town in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And the state gave them permission to blow it up because I guess it was going to be condemned or something anyway. And so the producer, director, or whatever, he's like, okay, guys, this is great. Just don't overdo it.
You're okay.
And so I guess whoever decided to set up all the explosives and everything just got real excited. And guess what? They did overdo it. And not only did they end up like rattling some of the neighborhood windows, they busted out some of the neighborhood windows whenever they exploded this church.
Oh, no.
But worth it because if you watch that episode, the church explosion
it's awesome.
Amazing. And
I mean, at least just
worth
a couple
it.
windows were broken and nobody was hurt.
Oh, and they really utilize that shot too. They show it to you like 6 or 7 times. Like it's
yeah.
Like might as well though. I mean,
that's your money shot.
That was their money shot. But yeah, so
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool story. Cool like production.
The production is super interesting, and I had never really thought about it until we watched that documentary about how, they are going to the places where this stuff happened, whether it's a missing person or a true crime or some kind of paranormal thing. They're going and they're doing these reenactments, and the reenactments are Unsolved Mysteries, right? Like that's I don't recall a show before that that was just strictly reenactments, and they used local people. They used like
really
theater troops,
local theater troops, and a lot of times, and I don't know that I guess I did realize it as a kid, but I didn't really think about how strange it is. They use a lot of the real people that this stuff happened to in the reenactments sometimes.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, and because you'll see them, like I'm watching it,
and then they'll be interviewing them,
the reenactment, and in the interview, and I'm like, that's the exact same person.
They're making them reenact this horrifying thing that happened.
They're like, that's really bizarre.
What is this? What is this documentary on?
It's on Peacock.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
I was
Check that
watching the Pluto Unsolved Mysteries channel a while back, as I have been doing. Mm-hmm. And
as
they
you
were
are
just
wont
playing,
to do.
They were playing the documentary, and I was like, I didn't even know there was a documentary.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But if you want to just stream it,
Okay.
you can
Cool.
peacock
Then
it.
peacock it.
You can peacock it.
Pull it up on the cock.
But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pull it up on the cock.
Yeah.
On the cock. So what are some others that you remember?
So there actually one that we were watching last night is one that's about this newlywed couple, and their names were Glenn and Bessie Hyde. And so basically, he was like really outdoorsy. He loved like I guess water sports,
Just like me.
canoeing, that sort of thing. But anyway, that was his dream, was to like build a boat and go down the Colorado River in it.
This was like in the 20s.
Yeah, yeah. So
You know, they do like. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like, I feel like Unsolved Mysteries, like even that one you were talking about from like the 50s, like they're really good. They'll go back. They're like, it's this is not just like recent stuff.
But a lot of this, yeah, like it's kind of hard to wrap your head around because it's like these episodes are like 30 going on 40 years old.
Right.
And then like they're interviewing these people that stuff happened to them like when they were kids and maybe they're older. So like it goes like way back, like maybe to like the 20s, 30s, you know, like really long time ago. But this one took place in 1928 and it was this newlywed couple. And so they were making their way down the Colorado River and they came across this guy named Kolb. But he was
Not a real name.
But he was like a photographer. He was really famous about. His name was Emery Kolb. But he was a Grand Canyon photographer and like really knew the area well. Like he was kind of an expert in the area. Right. And so he kind of warned them. He was like, the river is like getting ready to get really, really dangerous ahead. I don't think it's really a good idea for you to continue. Lo and behold, their boat turns up, you know, downstream a few days later. They're not there. But nothing, all their stuff is inside the boat, right?
Oh no, hubris.
Precisely as I would have imagined.
All their stuff turns up in the boat, right? And nothing seems like it's been messed with. So, like, if they had some sort of boating accident, it looks like, you know, like the boat would have been
Did they
damaged.
just fall the fuck out?
Like, maybe they just fell out. Like, what happened?
Or did they jump?
Well, so they're missing. They never found them, right?
Like, still, they never found them.
They don't know exactly
not really.
what happened to them, no. So, but, like...
Truly unsolved.
Emery Kolb lived to be like 95 years old, right? And after he passed, his family, friends, whoever, they were kind of cleaning out his stuff. And in his like shed or boathouse or whatever, they came across this canoe with skeletal remains in it. So, yeah.
What?
And it was just one set of skeletal remains, not two. But they figured out that the bones kind of matched up with the timeline of when those two people went missing. So, they did a lot of, like, examine them and everything. There's a bullet hole in the skull of this skeleton.
Did they figure out if it was a man or a woman?
It was a man.
Okay.
And so it was really wild. Like, even back in the 90s, whenever they shot this episode, I was kind of surprised about the technology that they could do for this. But it was basically like they held the skull, they had it on like this pedestal thing, and they could like transpose like an image of that guy's face.
Yeah, to see if it matched.
To see if it matched up, and it didn't. So they don't think that it was him. It was just maybe
some other man he murdered.
Just some other dead dude in a canoe, right?
Just some dude who caught one in the ear.
So they're not really sure, right? And
but then you're like, well, if he's killed one person,
you know,
maybe
maybe he might have killed the others.
But wait,
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
So, like they have all these like groups and stuff that go out on these like tours of the Grand Canyon, all
Sure.
that. Like maybe
Could
in
have
this.
been me.
Yeah, exactly. A few weeks ago.
I know.
Oh god, like you were so close to biting the bullet, right?
I was. I was so close.
Good thing
Some guy, I saw him. He was trying to push me over the edge.
Oh god. But anyway, so there's this like
Ghost
hiking.
of Emery Kolb.
It was the ghost of Emery Kolb.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to hide your body in a canoe
He
for
was.
50 years.
God damn Emery.
Ugh. But anyway, so they this hiking group's like out at the same area that these people went missing, and this lady just decides to like start dropping truth bombs and says that she's that the Bessie, the lady that went missing, and that she had gotten in a fight with her newlywed husband. And that he like really wanted to continue on, and she was really scared about going, and he was gonna make her go anyway, and had like threatened her and was like had started hitting her and stuff. So she took a knife and she stabbed him, and then she left and was never to be seen again. So
Do you think his body just went down the river?
Maybe, but so the people that own this like hiking group or whatever got back in touch with her and everything, and she's like, "No, that's not me." Like,
Like,
she did.
excuse
denied
me,
it.
ma'am, about what you said on
Yeah.
our hiking. That was bonkers.
That was bonkers. So who knows? Like maybe this guy got stabbed. Maybe
People just needed to not be a narc.
yeah. Maybe just people just need to not be a narc. Yeah.
I mean,
her husband did seem like kind of a dickhead. If
let
Unsolved
people
Mysteries
stab
is any-
people on the Colorado River. That's the hill I want to die on.
That's-
So I don't know. Maybe it's like
Very
maybe
interesting.
maybe she killed him, and that Emery Kolb guy like helped hide the body or something.
Maybe. Well,
who
we know
knows?
he's a shady fella.
Yeah. I mean,
he
if you
just-
had a dead body,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just get a dead body, you know?
Sometimes you come across a dead body, or you come into it like you would money. And what is there to do? But just hide it in your shed in your canoe for 50 years.
Yeah. What else?
By the time they find it, you'll be long gone. Yeah.
What are they gonna-
Can't
what are they
convict
gonna
the
do about
dead.
There you go.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, I thought, in rewatching it a lot this year, I feel like it definitely has scary elements to it, and maybe it's because I'm desensitized as an adult,
Right.
but I find that a lot of it, at least a lot of the episodes I've been watching, are kind of more heartwarming than they are scary, because it's a lot of, like, missing people, like missed connections, sort of like
And then being reunited.
like, and then them being reunited, and it's just
Justin.
I can't tell you how many times, Amy, that we've been watching, and and I'll just be like, I just want to hug this poor little fella. Like he's had a rough life, and I just hope he finds his sister,
And he
and then
does.
he does.
Oh my god, I love when there's an update at the end.
Oh,
And
there's
someone has
almost
either-
nothing more satisfying than watching Unsolved Mysteries and then hearing
Yeah.
update.
Yes.
Oh shit! Yes.
You're like, so even if it's just something like they found the person and they had died, like even though that's
closure,
bad,
at least.
it's closure. And like anytime I watch anything about like a missing person, whether anything, I just think that would be the worst. That would be the worst thing in the world. I think is someone you love is missing and you never know what happens to them. Like.
Yeah.
As awful as it would be to find out they died, even if it was in a horrific manner, like, you know what you're dealing with, you can work through it, but to just, like, I don't know, they just went missing, and I never saw them again. Like, that's the worst thing. So when you get that update, most of the time, though, it's, like, a good, like, someone was brought to justice for this, or...
A lot of times it is, yeah.
Yeah, or, like, they caught who did it, and you're like, fuck yes.
And I'll tell you, and I don't know how often they update these things, but I feel like this year I've seen some updates from
Pretty recent.
Pretty recent. Like, this episode clearly aired in, like, 1990.
Right.
And there's an episode talking about something that happens in, like, 2017 or something.
I think, so the documentary is from 2023. So it's
recent.
pretty recent. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they said that out of all the Unsolved Mysteries cases that out of all the Unsolved Mysteries that they've solved, 600 of the mysteries, like around about, and 180 of them have, like, dealt with, like, convicted felons. So,
Dang.
And I know there's a lot of, like, with the true crime genre and all that, I feel like there tends to be, like, a lot of, it can be exploitive. And everything. And I think, but, like, with Unsolved Mysteries, I feel like they're definitely, they're just, like, generally, like, they genuinely tried to, like, help people. And everything.
It definitely, I think, because it was one of those first early thing, like, I never thought Unsolved Mysteries felt exploitative. Like, there are definitely, it never felt like a fetishization.
I always felt like they really
crime.
put, like, it was, the focus was, like, if it was about something terrible that happened, it was about the victim. It's about
always.
the victim
Was,
and the people and their families and the people really affected by it. There's never any, like, glorification of someone who's doing horrible things. It's about, this is a person, this is a human being that this happened to, and we're trying to help them.
There is such a focus on the people left, if someone's gone missing, or because they really have those interviews, they don't, it's not about who did this and let's talk about, it's just not that kind of show,
No.
Like, it really was about the victims, like you said. And I think that's probably why it's something that we still enjoy watching, that stood the test of time, because it feels kind of like, it feels pure. It feels like it was doing something good. Like, we're all genuinely, like, mystery.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like they were really trying to do something good there.
And they started out, it was like a thing with NBC where it was like a missing persons
okay.
thing, like, and they would eventually, it turned into, like, how do we solve these mysteries? These are unsolved mysteries. So it kind of started out like that, and then they had people like in every state kind of putting feelers out, and they would, I think they said they had like a clipping service or something where it's like they would look in like local newspapers to see like if what kind of stories had happened that might go like do well on the show.
Yeah.
And so like then they would send in information and that kind of thing. And as it got more popular, then like they had the 800 number in the PO box and all that, and people were sending in their own stories and even like petitioning to like have their stories told.
Bobby Stacks. They
really did. I mean, they had like an actual call center. Like, that wasn't a set.
I know.
I mean, I'm sure part of it was a set, but they had a real call center that, like, these were episodes airing in prime time.
Yeah.
And if you know something, call this number, and there will be someone there to get your information.
And that's how the fuckers got solved.
And I was watching one. We were watching one not too long ago, and it was wild. It was this guy who I think he killed his wife or something
like that. Yeah.
And he he was on the run and had was going by a different name and all of this, and was dating this other woman who had no idea who he was, and he's featured on Unsolved Mysteries, and it all, like, because of that, he immediately was, like, caught, and I can't remember the exact details of how it, like, he was trying to keep her from the TV because he was seeing that he was on the TV.
Oh my god.
And he made an excuse really quick to leave, and it ends the next day in, like, a high-speed pursuit with the cops, and then he, I mean, this is grim, just trigger warning.
Yeah.
And he then kills himself and he like shoots himself before the cops
can catch him.
Yeah. So I mean, like, literally the episode aired, and within like 24 hours they had found him and he was dead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was wild.
You do not want to end up on Unsolved Mysteries.
No.
Either
there was
the
a
victim,
whole lot of people watching.
Again, like the America's Most Wanted. I feel like these are like very like we should have done like a double episode with this and America's Most Wanted.
I think America's Most Wanted deserves its own dedicated
And I bet
episode,
it's gonna
just
get
like
one.
Unsolved Mysteries does.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I think that's part of like the appeal of it. Is it like they rope in people from these small towns where these things took place.
Yeah.
And they're involving like the victims. They're like really involving the audience on a scale that like never was done before.
For sure, yeah.
I think that's why people got so like hyped up about it and everything.
Yeah.
Because they were part of solving the mystery, you know?
And literally they were. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of these are cold cases.
Yeah.
With the true
Yeah.
crime stuff. A lot of these are stuff where like there hasn't been a lead in maybe decades.
Yeah.
You know?
And you just happen to have the right person watching who's like,
And yeah.
holy shit, I know that person. That's my neighbor. Or, you know, I mean, that's just...
It's cool that they were able to do that, you know, like how they were able to like help so many people.
I know.
But yeah, like, and then I think there was another episode. I was actually listening to a podcast the other day that was like talking about this episode where this guy got caught because he was at his neighbor's house watching Unsolved Mysteries, and all of a sudden like the neighbors were sitting there like right beside him, and they were like and he ends up stealing his neighbor's car and tries to like drive off, but I think he got caught pretty quickly.
Oh my...
So,
like it was him, and the
yeah.
neighbors were like, that's you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, so I feel like there were a lot of instances like
Imagine that. Imagine you're just like hanging with like a new friend, someone, the neighbor, someone you work with or something, and you just had dinner, and all of a sudden they're on the TV for like killing their wife or something. Imagine that, and you're just like, imagine how that conversation's going to go when you both kind of realize that
You both know.
you both know.
Oh, shit. That would be terrifying, honestly.
I try to play it off. I'd be like, damn, that guy looks a lot like me, doesn't
that
it?
looks just
Oh
like
my-
you. Hey, do you want another beer?
Oh
I'm
my
gonna pop
god,
up
my
next to her real
twin
quick.
Danny. I've not seen him in years. Holy shit. That's my
So-
twin Danny. Yeah.
So I feel like we've talked a lot about the true crime, because
Yeah.
there's all kinds of different unsolved mysteries. We've talked
Well,
about there's
sure.
a lot of true crime. There's a lot of miracles or phenomenon
yeah,
like
they
that.
do
But I
have
think I want to talk about like the paranormal. I want to talk about
Because they do a lot of those episodes.
I want to talk about UFOs and alien abductions and ghosts and occult stuff and cryptids, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster, Mothman. Do you guys like remember any specific like spooky paranormal ones that you liked? Like I remember the Mothman one really well, and that was one that I definitely remember watching as a kid when we've seen it again recently.
Yeah, the Mothman one was pretty good. Actually,
With the red eyes outside the window, like that I could see why that terrified me as a kid.
yeah,
Ugh.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Side note, if anybody ever wants to go to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, I'm your girl. I definitely want to go check.
We all want to go to Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Go to Mothman Festival.
absolutely, and take a picture with that big metal statue and all that. Yeah,
Touch its butt.
touch its butt. It's very muscular.
It's got a good butt. That statue's got a good butt.
It's like a jacked like mosquito. It's insane looking.
He is like a Jack Mosquito.
Super
I
jacked,
went as
sexy
Mothman
mosquito.
for Halloween. I almost said Christmas. For Halloween last year, I went as Mothman.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
So there was this one episode. Sorry, I keep on going back to this documentary, but I just loved it so much. That they were talking about that Bigfoot. It was the episode was about Bigfoot, and there was like a sighting outside of this bar. And so when they were shooting the episode, they had like rented like a Harry and the Hendersons costume, like the Harry costume, right? And they got this like really tall actor to play Bigfoot, and he's just walking around out in the streets out in front of this bar, and it's like 2 a.m. and the bar shuts down, and these people that have been like in there drinking all night come out, and I guess maybe they didn't warn them or something. So you have people that like see this like giant man like walking around dressed like Bigfoot, and people start freaking out. And this one like really drunk guy starts chasing this Bigfoot guy like down the street. And they were talking about like the whole like production crew and everything just kind of like lost it whenever that happened. But yeah,
that's amazing.
We'll see. Another one is the guy that could make it rain. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yes, I do remember the guy that could make it rain. That had an interesting story too. Like it was like a demonic possession almost kind of thing, right? Where like it was like a possession thing, and he would make it like he could make it rain indoors, and like they couldn't figure out how he was doing it.
That's creepy.
And then I remember, didn't they say that because they were there like in the town interviewing his family, and that like on their last morning there, when they went to leave, there was like 2 inches of water in their hallway, and no one could ever figure out where it came from, like where like it was only in front of their rooms, and it was like they never found a pipe that burst or anything.
That's
no one knows why
strange.
there was water just there.
Yeah.
I think sometimes in my mind, I get this and the X-Files, like, crisscrossed in my mind, and sometimes I'll remember things that were actually X-Files episodes that I'll think were Unsolved Mysteries, and vice versa. Because I feel like the vibe was a little similar, and also my, like, 6-year-old brain, you know.
All right. We're gonna do a rapid fire. We're gonna do a rapid fire spooky quiz, and I want to get it's yes or no answers from both of you.
Okay.
But it's going to be do you believe?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
UFOs.
Yes.
Yes.
Amy, you don't seem confident in your answer.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alien abduction.
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay. Ghosts.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Bigfoot.
I don't want to live in a world where Bigfoot isn't real. So yes.
I don't know enough about science to dispute. It's a maybe.
Okay. Loch Ness Monster.
Nah.
Probably not.
Demonic possession?
No, I think a lot of that is mental illness.
Yeah.
That
and
got...
and faking.
And just being a big old fibber.
Just faking. I mean, maybe.
Okay. How about faith healing?
No.
No?
That was actually my senior thesis was faith healing versus conventional medicine.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that much like hypnotism, I think the power of persuasion, and I think sometimes if you believe it, I think that can be really powerful, and you can, but I don't think it's legit. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely like a placebo effect.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Okay. Great answers, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Psychic phenomena. Like telekinesis or precognition or extrasensory, sixth sense sort of stuff.
You know, I feel like...
yeah.
I feel like there have been instances, like, reported of people, like, being able to do that. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if it's not real, then you're telling me crossing over with John Edwards is all a bunch of hooey. I do think that there are people who are more attuned to things like that. I do think that's possible. I think a lot of it's probably hooey, but I do think that they're...
Hooey? Mm-hmm. Boy, that was such an old person thing to say. That's a bunch of hooey.
That's a bunch of hooey.
Bunch of baloney.
But I think it's possible, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's really all I had.
Okay.
Okay.
April, what was your definitive answer on that one?
On psychic,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly thought I was going to say yes on all of those,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I didn't.
You just like believing.
I do. I never stop believing.
Journey appreciates it.
I was like, are we picking up on that?
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm really glad. Well, I'm glad this show exists, and it has become. I mean, obviously, there are lots of people who enjoy watching it 24 hours a day on Pluto TV.
Yes.
But now, there was we talked about the OG series that ran until basically 9/11.
Till 9/11 ruined
But
it.
there was a reboot. There was like a Netflix.
Oh, okay, so there's a couple different versions, right? Now,
Okay.
we've pretty much just talked about Bobby Stax.
Yeah. Bobby Stacks.
But there was the Spike TV Dennis Farina era.
Oh my god. Yes.
Yep.
And it's very Spike TV too. It's like it shows him in the call center, and then it's like, now we're gonna go to like this map and like all these like digital noises, and it like zooms in on the Google image.
Is
Well,
it
and
like
here's
A
the ironic
Thousand Ways to
ironic
Die?
part too.
Which is the Spike
yes,
TV
yes,
show I
it very
remember the
much is
most.
like that. But here's the ironic part: they didn't. There were like, I don't know. The Dennis Farina era was a couple years in the late 2000s. They didn't film any new segments. It was all old segments. They just filmed Dennis Farina being Dennis Farina, and then showed old segments. They didn't show anything new.
What? There were no
Spike
new
TV.
cases? They were just
No
old
new cases. No, they would update if there was an update.
So I watched
They
one
were
of
just
the
repackaging that.
I watched one of the Dennis Farina episodes today, so that way I felt like I could have a good opinion on whether or not I liked it. And the episode I watched was about a brothel in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, or right outside of Fort Campbell, Kentucky, which is on the Tennessee-Kentucky border.
It is, yeah.
And so not too far from here. And they were talking to a madam who, I guess the police department in this town only had like 7 police officers. And basically they were like poaching her for money so that way she could continue to run her business. And it was like she had bought them like new cars and new uniforms and all kinds of stuff. And then I think they started coming in for services and everything. So just really, yeah. So, you know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So Dennis Farina as a host,
Uh-huh.
what did you think?
No. So the thing...
Nothing against Dennis Farina.
No, Dennis Farina is great.
He's another ultimate like old man actor.
Yeah. But I mean,
is
the
he
thing...
still around?
No, I think he's passed.
The thing about Robert Stax is he's got that, like, kind of grisly voice. And,
the voice.
Like, very...
He's intimidating.
A little intimidating, yeah. And very, like, matter-of-fact.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he would disapprove of me if he knew me personally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would take
Like-
one look at me,
Like,
turn right around and leave.
Just, he would not like the cut of my jib.
No, he would not. And you'd respect him for it.
Yeah, I would totally
You'd say,
get it.
you know what? That's fair.
I'd be like, thank you, sir, yes.
Thank you, sir.
I am
I'll have
awful.
another. Yeah. Yeah. But, okay,
But
so
yeah.
there was Weird Dennis Farina, but there was a new one, right?
There
On
is a
Netflix?
new one.
It's still
It has
on?
new episodes that came out like 2 weeks ago.
So...
Wow.
I will say this about this show. I feel like it is a very good crime series.
Okay.
Like it's a fantastic show, right?
Okay.
They interview, like, they get really in depth with the victims, and like they do a really good job of telling the story. It is not Unsolved Mysteries, though. Like,
Okay.
There's no.
It's just like any other crime show, like true
Yeah,
crime show.
exactly. It's like it's a true crime show. It's not. There's not like audience involvement, which I don't really know that that's a thing that you could do anymore. But
Other than like a thing at the end of like, if you have any information,
Right.
call this number or go to this website.
Yeah.
But
there's
other
no
than
like
that,
hokey reenactments, which I think is kind of what made the original
I
Unsolved
remember
Mysteries
watching
so
a couple
charming.
episodes of it, and were there reenactments at all?
I don't know.
yes, but I mean like
they're not hokey.
No, they're not hokey enough.
like they got actual actors to do.
And like
No.
high Netflix production value. Like,
Yeah.
I
No.
don't want the no.
That's not Unsolved Mysteries.
And the big thing is there's not a host, right?
No, there's no host. There's no one.
yeah.
There's no one doing interludes guiding you through the story. It's just structured like it could be called anything.
And honestly, if it were called anything else, I feel like I would like the show more.
I was
So-
reading
Right.
that. I haven't watched it. So they just dropped a batch of new episodes a couple weeks ago. I saw, and there's another new one coming out in October.
Okay.
But I saw that they had like cut the episode order, and fans were by like one. But fans were peeved because they cut the episode order, and then two of the topics in the new season are Jack the Ripper and a new Mothman episode. And they were just kind of like, "There's already so much material. Like,
Yeah,
what more
and-
could you possibly say about
those two
those
things? Yeah.
And they
and then
wasted
also,
two.
like,
you cut an
there's
episode, and then
so
you wasted
many
two
things
episodes.
that happen every single day that we could be reporting on.
Yeah, like there's so many Mothman documentaries. There's so many Jack the Ripper documentaries.
Yeah, like, what
and
are you going to
books
say
and
in an
What are you
hour,
going to say? Yeah.
a 40-minute Unsolved Mysteries episode about
So I
Jack
heard
the
Unsolved
Ripper?
Mysteries fans were peeved, but I haven't watched any of the new ones. I have
The
watched
UN
a couple.
universe.
I have watched a couple of like the first few batches of episodes. They're,
The
and again, they're
Unsolved
good,
Mysteries Reddit is
but it's not Unsolved Mysteries.
scathing. Yeah.
I did really like. There's the episode about the girl that like got in a fight with her mom, and she like there's some kind of like video of her walking out toward the train tracks, and she gets hit by a train. But it's like kind of the way they found her remains. They don't. It looks like maybe somebody pushed her or something. Like, and then like her clothing was, I think, like maybe folded up or something. Like she was.
Oh, there was something.
There was like
strange.
something fishy going on. Yeah. So yeah.
Something
I mean,
Albert Fishy going on.
something Albert fishy going on.
Ayo.
That's another thing too. I've kind of noticed with us rewatching it is it's like some of the acting's so bad and everything, but they're covering really serious topics. So it's like, I kind of want to sit here and like crack jokes about some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh no, that's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Also, this is the real person this happened to.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, woo.
Yeah.
But I feel like, sometimes we'll have some like good quotes like there's one, I love it when Justin says, and this is not true of my mother, this was the person on the show. It says, your mother was a tramp. Like this lady's, it's some like adoption episode or something, and this lady's talking to this girl that was adopted, and she's like, your mother was a tramp.
Oh.
So we like to say that to each other.
Yeah.
I like the ones where they get reunited with their birth parents.
Liz and I.
And everyone hugs and cries and does sit down interviews, and they're like, "This is the happiest I've ever been."
They're like, I knew why they had to give me up for adoption, and I understand. But I'm just happy to know them, and I'm like, yeah, that makes me a little emotional.
Oh goodness.
Just what a wonderful show
It is a wonderful show for sure.
that raised us into to be investigative and anxious.
Yeah, and very
Always
suspicious.
Very
of everybody.
suspicious. Always looking over our shoulders.
Thank you, Bobby Stacks.
April, thank you for coming on here and talking Unsolved Mysteries with us.
Of course, yeah.
We love having you on the show, and a little bird told me that she's probably going to be back on the show pretty soon.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah, so for all you April fans, and we know there are a lot.
There are a lot.
More April content coming your way.
I do think, Justin, that was an all-timer episode announcement
On Instagram?
graphic that you made. Yes.
Oh,
I did love that graphic.
thank you. And I would like to point out, John Benet Ramsey, also an Unsolved Mystery.
This is true.
Is there an episode about that?
Probably. I imagine so, but I don't know.
Who do you think did it?
The brother and the parents
brother.
covered it up.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
It just is. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we're all on the same.
I'm glad we're all on the same page. Well, on
about
that
John Benet
note,
Ramsey.
Amy, why don't you do some plugs?
I feel like I've talked so much. I think you should do some plugs.
I don't want to do no plugs. Okay, I'll do the plugs.
Okay, you do.
You can, of course, find us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called now, Spotify, blah, blah, blah. If you found it, you found it. You're already listening to it. So
here.
just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Follow us on social media at Cool Kids Club Pod on Instagram, on Twitter, on Threads. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search for Cool Kids Club Podcast. We are most active on Instagram for sure. If you want to talk to us, that's probably the quickest way to get a response.
Yeah, for sure.
At Cool Kids Club Pod. If you want to follow us personally, she is on Instagram at Amy.
Amy.
And I am at Lousy with Ghosts. You got a plug? You want to plug something?
Sure, you can follow
Plug it
me
up.
on Instagram. I'm at AprilHamLincoln86.
Just a real all-timer
It-
of a
yeah.
Great one.
of a username.
You can look at my pictures of kayaking and charcuterie and
And our cat in a harness.
our cat that I take for walks and
Yeah.
drives.
Just don't be taking that kayak down the Colorado River.
No, well, and I didn't
Killing your husband.
Don't be
Kill
doing
him.
that either.
Don't be doing that.
I'll hide his bones in it.
And then just send him down off the river.
Send him give him like a Viking funeral,
There you go.
I feel like I'm getting ganged up on now.
oh man. But yeah,
I
you
won't
can,
let it happen.
But yeah, you can definitely follow me and see some pictures of those things.
And who doesn't want that? I know I do.
Yeah.
I love it.
Always.
Follow my nerdy nostalgia collector account at Cool Kids Cool Kid Clubhouse.
There you go.
Follow Blue Bard Cage if you like me talking about wrestling. I do that sometimes. And last but not least, thank you to Brian Wakefield, who has been
Brian, hey,
texting me
guys.
this whole episode, and I have not
What?
read them because I'm recording.
Oh.
For texting me and for the theme songs. And I am really excited because we're getting to that to Q4 soon, and that means we're gonna
Q4.
we're gonna be busting
It's the
out the
best Q.
special the best Q. We'll be busting out the special Cool Kids Club theme songs.
He
here on
also,
the
I hear,
podcast
wrote the
soon.
Unsolved Mysteries theme song, so it's really incredible.
I heard he did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So way to go.
He's a child prodigy.
Amy, are you gonna play us out with some funky underbelly?
Oh, girl, you know I am.
Hey, Amy, cue
Yeah.
up that funky underbelly.
Yeah, I'm gonna cue it right here.
Cue it up right
Yeah.
here. And I'm going to say, we usually say, stay cool.
Yeah.
But I think we should end this in true Bobby Stax fashion. Maybe you can help stay cool.